Jeffrey's morning routine starts with busting a nut. His nighttime routine ends with busting a nut. Adonis lives like a monk, ignoring the distractions of women, sex, and porn.
Sexual immorality and impurity or greed should not even be heard of among you.
So if you haven't been on Twitter lately, there's been a string of prawn stars that have either overdosed or have ended up dead, and I'm not gonna lie, the replies and the treatment towards them is fucking abysmal. And this phenomenon is very weird to me, considering that a lot of these prawn stars are prawn stars that these same men have watched. Now of course we all know the answer is that men hate prawn stars because they don't see prawn stars as humans or respectable. But I also think the rise of certain movements like nofap and also the popularization of religion on social media play a huge part. A lot of the men who used to watch prawn or even still watch it and also turned religious and try to get rid of their addictions are now angry at those people, and instead of taking it out on the prawn companies and the CEOs and the pimps that run the game, they take it out on the prawn stars and sex workers. And this becomes even more confusing because the guys who talk down on prawn stars are the same ones inviting them on their shows.
This is the fucking game. These women are making less than 10K, so they get humiliated on a podcast because a couple simps are gonna pay to see your stupid titties, and then you're gonna leave and you don't care. You're not gonna change. But the whole reason that we're here making fun of you right now is to save some of the simps that might subscribe right now. Save some of the simps that are gonna humiliate themselves by walking down the aisle with you in a white dress.
Come on, Sneeko. You know that's not the reason. Most of the fan base for these guys are dudes who are under 22 and are probably gonna consume their content anyway. It's not like they're doing some warnings by roasting an OnlyFans girl for like 2 hours. The guys are gonna eat it up and then they're gonna check out their content and become goomers. Now on the other side of the content coin, you have the people that stopped watching prawn but they still have the misguided anger. And of course, instead of speaking out against the prawn industry, defending exploited women, looking into recovery programs for women that were sexually trafficked, they decide to watch prawn stars get degraded and made fun of because feminism is for women and cooties are icky. All jokes aside though, a lot of men have this feeling that they were socialized and groomed into the prawn industry. Me personally, and the men I've been around and what I've read online, is that a lot of us have been exposed to see it as normal, especially as a young age. It's seen as an outlet to let those emotions out and those pent-up hormones, especially when you're going through puberty, and this just leads to a massive disconnect in how you view women and how you view sexuality. Andrea Dworkin is a famous radical feminist who wrote the book Pron, Men Possessing Women. Now, going back to my previous point about how men are socialized just to see it as an outlet and the prawn stars aren't actual people, just tools to an end or something that you watch when you're bored or when you're in the mood. Andrea Dworkin's book has a lot of good takeaways and quotes, however one sticks out to me on this topic. Men characterize prawn as something mental because their minds, their thoughts, their dreams, their fantasies are more real to them than women's bodies or lives. In fact, men have used their social power to characterize a $10 billion a year trade in women as fantasy. Now this quote works as a double whammy because it proves my point that a lot of men disassociate with the very real traumas and exploitation that women face in the prawn industry. And it also brings up the fact that it's not the women that are necessarily the problem, it's the people that exploit them. And desire and guilt are both two very strong emotions, and when you mix them, you get an incel hellstorm. Now to loop back to my original claim, the solution to these negative emotions is to glorify purity and reject a change of the system. It's no longer about changing the prawn industry and helping those affected. Now it is about the self.
You must do nofap. You must resist the urges. You must become more holy. You must avoid, degrade, and insult prawn workers.
That's literally what they say. I get the mind messages, but it's transmitted to every man on earth. So in summary, besides the giant elephant in the room of men hating prawn stars because they hate women and are misogynistic, it's also because they hate themselves and they don't have any desire to change the system or actually help any of the people that they ridicule. It's much easier to enter a world of good and bad and pure and impure rather than trying to fix a nuanced issue that affects everybody, man or woman. And besides that, I don't have anything else. I just made this video quickly because I pushed back the cyberpunk vid, and seeing all this stuff on Twitter kind of made me think, and I was like, let me make a video on it because these people are fucking disgusting. But besides that, I think I'm gonna end the video with Dworkin's speech. Keep an eye out for the Cyberpunk video, and like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Instagram if you haven't, and thank you for watching.
Dehumanizing someone is cruel, and it doesn't have to be violent in order for it to be cruel. I am struck by how, when things are done to women that would be construed to be violence if they were done in another context, man to man or to a man, people always act as if it's bad, but it's okay. It's bad, but it's all right. We don't like it, but hey, that's the way things are.